Now, the Obama administration on Wednesday slapped sanctions on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and 10 other regime officials for their alleged complicity in human rights abuses against the North Korean people. The administration's officials said this move marked the first time Washington sanctioned Kim Jong-un personally for what they called North Korea's notorious abuses of human rights. The sanctions also extend to 5 North Korean state entities, including the Ministry of People's Security, which the report says oversees labor camps and other detention facilities where torture, execution, rape, starvation, and forced labor takes place. Koi Poo-hil, the Minister of People's Security, was also named to the list, along with several top officials in the agency. U.S. officials briefing reporters on the new actions say they expect the sanctions to have a worldwide ripple effect, making it harder for those on the list to do business with global financial institutions. The officials also noted that this was the first time many of the North Korean officials involved have been publicly named, citing the secretive nature of the regime. They also expressed the hope that the State Department reports and sanctions will help convince mid- and lower-tier officials to refrain from committing human rights abuses out of fear of being blacklisted. A security source said Turkish fighter jets pounded Kurdish militants' targets in rural areas of the southeastern province of Sirnak earlier today. 7 targets, including the shelters and caves belonging to Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK), were destroyed in the Kudi Mountains and the Gökçekonak district in the airstrikes, which followed inspection flights by drones. Military sources said reconnaissance flights in the area continued while gendarmerie and special forces carried out searches. Conflict between the autonomy-seeking PKK and Turkish military flared up last July after the collapse of a ceasefire. Thousands of militant security forces, members and civilians have been killed in fighting across the mainly Kurdish southeast since. The military regularly carries out airstrikes against the PKK in rural areas of Turkey's predominantly Kurdish southeast and in northern Iraq, where the group's leadership is based. More than 40,000 people have been killed in the conflict since the PKK, designated a terrorist group by Turkey and its Western allies, began its insurgency in 1984. Now let's move over to Stanley Ofair for some sports stories.